Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 54 of a year of change. Today, being Thursday, we're going to keep following what we've sort of set out to do for this week, and today is going to be our update day. Just sort of generally touching on where I am in my progress, and as people start sort of gathering up speed or start adding themselves to the community, sort of update you on some progress that may sort of stand out, things that some people are doing, different ideas and things like that. This is sort of our sharing day. So, unfortunately, we are sort of limited as to who is in there right now. So, today I'm just going to sort of touch on what I've been doing this week. As you know, I've started up on my exercise stuff, so I'm doing my treadmill. As of yesterday, I finally went to 3 kilometers for the day. So I think I'm going to stay roughly there. It doesn't sound like a lot. It's only about 45 minutes of just walking, but it's more than I'm doing now. So, but I think after about 45 minutes, I'm right now anyway at a stage where that's good. I'm okay with that. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, then I'll add another kilometer and I'll just keep going that way. I think once I hit 5 kilometers, then I'll probably stop there. And then I'll start doing things like adding speed or adding an incline, things like that. Just because once you start getting beyond that, then it's going to be like 2 or 3 hours of just walking. And once you reach a point where you can go 5 kilometers of just walking, you probably can go 10 without really much effort. It's just a matter of time. So at that stage, I sort of want to do something a little bit different. So maybe I'll pick up the speed. I only go about 4 kilometers an hour right now. For those of you out there, that's about that many miles per hour. So once I get to 5, then at least in my head, that's sort of, hey, I could do a 5K if I wanted to. But now I need to start changing either the speed, just because I'm just going at a sort of, not even really an overly brisk pace for walking. It's how you would walk if you had to get from one end of your office to the other for a meeting that you weren't going to be late for, but you didn't want to be last. Here's a good analogy. So, and then start working on an incline, because right now I'm just at 0 degrees. And over the next couple of weeks, my schedule is probably going to be changing, and I still haven't done it yet, but I'm going to get stuck parking on the hill. So at some point, I'm going to need to get used to climbing up a vertical cliff. So hopefully I'll start doing the incline, and that'll help on top of that. Plus, if I sort of add the speed, it's going to cut down on the time that I'm doing it. I don't want to get to a point where I'm just running 5K every day and doing half an hour and then that's it. At some point, I'll have to add more stuff in. But for right now, that's where I am. I was actually going to take a picture of the hill yesterday to show, but it was a very good day for it. But I think I'll wait until I actually have to go up there just to sort of give you the scope of the magnitude. That doesn't even make sense, does it? A scope or magnitude, it's the same thing. Just to give you an idea of how steep this is. And some of you are probably going to look at it and go, that's not steep at all. But for someone like me, then it's very steep. I like things where it's either flat or downward. I don't want to go up. It's very, very stressful. So that's going to come in the next couple of weeks, unfortunately. But it's one of those things that once I start it, I'll probably stay up there. I'm just sort of postponing as long as possible. But doing the treadmill has helped, because at least now I'm not sweaty and gross and out of breath when I'm done. So it just sort of makes me feel good throughout the day. And I think if I start out that way, then the hill won't be as bad as it was the very first time I did it. I could probably do it now, and it wouldn't be nearly as bad. But I don't really want to try it yet, because it was so horrible the first time. So once I sort of keep things going a little bit, as long as I can, then in the next couple of weeks, then I'll get stuck up there, and we'll go from there. So beyond that, I don't really have a lot to tell you. That's pretty much it. Actually, in sort of keeping with the treadmill thing, this is something that I had briefly touched on earlier, that when we're tracking stuff in MyFitnessPal, when you start doing exercise, it of course takes the calories burned. So it takes that off and then it sort of adds to your total for the day. And there's a bit of a temptation to say, oh, well, I have an extra 500 calories for the day. I can have cake and cookies and everything else. So I haven't gone over anything like that. There was one day where I did go over a bit, like less than 100 calories. And I knew I was going to end up going over, but I had made up my mind at that point to do the treadmill that night. I hadn't done it that day. So, and it wasn't like a scheduled day. It was like a Tuesday or a Saturday or something. So, and now I should have done the treadmill beforehand just in case I decided to get lazy and went, oh, I'll just go over for the day. But no, I have stayed on target. I've stayed on track. Things are good. But there is that temptation to say, I have an extra bunch of calories that I can use up for the day and then overeat. So I haven't done that, though. I really sort of resisted that. There were a couple of days where I had done the treadmill and I was still way, way under what my regular goal would have been. So even if I hadn't done the treadmill, I would have been 200 or 300 calories under. So that makes me very happy because I need to lose. And if I'm just still doing just the bare minimum each time, then it's gonna drop off a lot slower. And it's not like I'm not going hungry or anything like that, so it should work out fine. But last night I thought, you know what? I have a ton. When I got home from work, I still had almost 2,000 calories to burn for the day, and I'm like, I don't want to eat 2,000 calories all at once. Before I would have been able to, it would have been a problem. But I really don't want to sort of get back into that. I'm sort of away from the overeating portion somewhat, aside from the apples. Sorry, I have something in my throat. Anyway, so I thought, okay, I have pizza in my freezer. I'll do some calculations and figure out what things are good. And I was still going to be way under. So I thought, good, I will make pizza. Pizza isn't actually all that bad as long as you don't go crazy with the cheese. Even the toppings aren't that bad. And even the bread isn't that bad. But it's the cheese that's going to kill you. Because if you dump on a whole bunch of extra cheese, which everyone likes, then it's going to like double the amount of calories that you do. But I thought, okay, I'll be reasonable. I still put on some extra cheese because when you buy frozen pizza, there's nothing on them. And a little bit of added stuff. Everything was great. Had my share. Was still a little bit hungry, so I had an apple, of course. So I just didn't want to pile up on, because that was sort of an old eating habit that I could easily eat an entire pizza. So anyway, I had my regular share, and I thought, okay, I'll have the rest, maybe for breakfast in the morning, or wait till I come home from work, probably. Anyway, being unprepared and not doing things properly, I didn't put it away in the fridge like I should have. I went to bed very early last night and sort of just went, I don't care, and left it. So about 3 a.m, I hear this really weird noise. And it sounded like a hollow metal box being tapped on, which was really, really weird. Anyway, got up, didn't think anything of it, and went back to bed. Got up this morning, saw the pizza, and I was like, I didn't put it away. So, and then I took a closer look. Now, I have an island in my kitchen, which is essentially my dishwasher. And it has a countertop on it, and that's where the pizza was. And the dishwasher is a hollow metal box. So, apparently, in the middle of the night, I have 2 cats, and one of them is a stray I found 12 years ago. And the other one is one that I'm watching for a friend of mine who moved away 6 years ago. And so I know technically I still call it her cat, but everyone says it's my cat. But anyway, I still refer to it as her cat. It's my cat. And I know that. Anyway, so there's the stray that I found is the one that won't eat anything aside from cat food and mushrooms and olives and weird stuff. But her cat is like a little garbage disposal. It eats everything. So what the noise was that I heard at 3 a.m. was it jumping up and climbing around on my dishwasher. Because this morning when I got up, and again, this is partly my fault, her cat took the liberty of helping me out on my eating habits and decided to eat all the cheese and all the toppings off the pizza. I will say this. She did leave the onions and the bread, so apparently cat's on Atkins diet or something. But all the pepperoni is gone, all the bacon is gone, all the hamburger is gone, all the cheese is gone, absolutely everything else. And she's just sort of, there was the section that was left, she just sort of started at one end and just went right across. And obviously, she got halfway through before she got full. Still have a thing in my throat. Sorry, I don't know what it is. Might be something. And she got halfway across and obviously just went, wow, that's more than enough for me. I'm good. So I have no pizza left. Because I'm not going to cut off the section that she ate and eat the rest, because for all I know, she could be laying on the other section while she's eating the other one. But cats being cats, you can't just go over and, spritz them with water 6 hours after they've done something, because they're not going to understand. So anyway, I'm not sure if that's a help or not, but at least I know now what the sound is. So if I hear it again, then obviously I've left something out. And serves me right, I suppose, for leaving stuff out. I should have put it away. But I figured that was at least not exactly a fat story, but something that sort of fits in with the progress report. So anyway, but in general, getting back to that, pizza's generally okay. Just don't go overboard with anything. Just pay attention to what you're eating. And usually, especially if it's a frozen one, I mean, if you're getting it ordered in, it's probably a little bit more difficult. But if you have a frozen one, it's usually all the nutritional information's on the back, and you can just sort of gauge it by that. So I, of course, added stuff to it, like pepperoni and cheese, which the cat ate. But as long as you don't go over, then you're still okay, because it does sort of have a little bit of everything on it, and it's one of the best foods in the world. So, because it has everything. Vegetables and meat and bread, I guess. So 3 things. That's good. Anyway, that is really it for my progress. Just sort of updating you on where things stand with the treadmill and things like that. As things progress each week, if there, once we start getting more people involved, then if there's something that stands out, that someone hit a milestone, that they've lost their first 25 pounds, or they've started their exercise and they're doing, they've signed up for a 5K or something. Little achievements like that within the community, then this will be the day that we bring those in as well. Because having me just sit here and go, well, I did this, and I did this, and I didn't overeat, and I ran 5 miles, is really boring. So, and I'm not always going to have a story about a cat eating my food to spice things up. So, other than that, though, I like to have those little sort of moments in there that, when people do achieve something, just as they sort of talk through the comments, hopefully it's going to get to a point where we have a lot of people, and rather than have all those little achievements get lost in the comments and in our group and stuff like that, I'd like to sort of bring that out as well. So this won't be just me every time. For the first little bit it is, but in general, I'd like to sort of bring other people in and let what they're doing and little achievements that they've done. And maybe it's someone said, I finally, like a friend of mine, that I talked about earlier in the week, or last week, that has given up soda pop entirely, and still hasn't gone back. So, and it's been almost 2 weeks for him now. So little things like that, which are not really little, they're huge changes in people's lives, when they have those, and just to sort of keep that support group going. But for right now, that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. And in the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.